Hi, I'm Josh. You probably recognize me from being on the altar quite a bit here at St. Francis. I wanted to take a couple minutes to tell you about my diaconal formation, which could not be possible without the contributions to the appeal. Three aspects to the ministry of the deacon. One is the ministry of the word, one is the ministry of the altar, and the other is the ministry of charity. The ministry of the word is the actual proclamation of the gospel. One of the things we learned early on in the process was anytime a deacon is present at Mass, it is his responsibility to proclaim the gospel, no matter that's at a Mass with a priest, a Mass with the bishop, or the Pope. If a deacon is present, it is his responsibility to proclaim the gospel. So that is a very special thing for the men that are ordained to the diaconate. The ministry of the altar is what you see Deacon Eric do. As we set the altar, you'll notice he starts pouring the wine and water into the chalice. He presents the paten, which has the host for the priest. He presents that to the priest, and then we'll present the chalice to the priest as well. That's the service at the altar, and he'll also elevate the chalice at the final prayer of consecration. And then the ministry of charity. It's going out to the most vulnerable in our area and pulling them in. I think about St. Lawrence, the deacon, when he was asked to bring the treasures of the church before the Roman emperor, he brought the poor of the church. And that was what led to him being grilled, uh, literally, like put over a fire and grilled. But he recognized that the treasures of the church are the poor and the outcast and those that people just don't pay any attention to. Being able to go out, I've gone out a few times with Deacon Eric on the golf cart to help people that need it and to see their joy. I mean, they know when we're coming. You could see them come out and they'll come up to the golf cart running because they know we're there to provide them some type of assistance. First discerning the diaconate, I met with Father Dave, Deacon Eric, and Deacon Ed and asked them the same thing. What led you to being called your vocation? And all of them said the same thing. Now that I'm in the process, I feel the same way. It wasn't one thing. It wasn't like this aha moment. It's just small steps of service that I've done that has kind of led me to that point. Starting with service at the altar. I love to serve Mass and learning more about the Mass. The liturgy is the place where Jesus comes alive every Sunday before us. Getting into all of the different ministries, working with some of the different men's ministries like Vanguard and the Knights, and the charitable ministries, going out with Deacon Eric on the golf cart. I remember feeling a change of heart one day when we were out. It was really cold, and Eric and I were delivering food after one of the men's retreats. I remember seeing a camp. It was like negative 20 degrees out. And there were people huddled together. I just remember I was so overwhelmed with emotion that there are people living like this. I couldn't contain myself. I almost started tearing up right there. So it's all of these things together. And then I received a call 4 years ago from Deacon Ed, and he's like, "Have you ever considered the diaconate?" And I said, "No, I haven't. It's not something that was ever on my radar." And then as I start looking more into it, I talked to my wife, the formation director. I talked to Father Dave and Eric, and they're all like, "Yeah, you really do seem to have a heart for it. Maybe this is what you need to do." So we started the process, and here we are. For the first 4 years of formation, the costs have been covered by myself and the parish. But now that we've reached that final stage, the diocese covers those costs by donations to the appeal. The days that I am in formation, they're actually quite long. It is an entire 8-hour day of formation and learning. The cost is covered by the diocese. We don't have to pay for anything except for books. So it's extremely helpful to not have to worry about how we're going to pay for the classes and everything that we do, along with the actual formation. So again, it was really good with all the homework and everything that we didn't have to worry about anything but actually the learning process. So that's been such a great relief. Without donations to the appeal, there's no way an individual person or a family could pay those costs. I'm very thankful for the people that donate to the appeal, because without that donation, there's no way that I could be able to afford that on my own. I had the pleasure of going down to Deacon Ed Watson's ordination this past weekend, and knowing the process that Deacon Ed went through, and because I'm in that process now, it was very emotional to see him raise the chalice for the first time. That was a really special feeling, to know that one day, hopefully, God calls me to that same place, that I'll be able to stand beside one of our priests and be able to elevate the blood of Christ